In today's video, we have some pretty scary locations all around the world. One looks like it's right out of a Dark Souls game, and the other features a bunch of creepy dolls. With that, here are some of the spookiest places in the world. We start our list off with La Recoleta. A haunted cemetery, you say? But that's impossible! Sarcasm is fun, kiddos. Located in Buenos Aires, we have the La Recoleta Cemetery, which is home to the graves of many people. In fact, there are quite a few important cemeteries here, including ones for Eva Perón, past president of Argentina, Nobel Prize winners, and even a granddaughter of Napoleon, apparently. It's filled to the brim with spoopy and eerie statues, as well as mausoleums, tombstones that have a great level of attention to their design, as well as neat stone walkways. Also, ghosts. Gotta love ghosts, with the most notable ghost story involving one David Alleno, who was a former gravedigger who worked at the cemetery for decades before killing himself. In fact, people still say you can hear his keys jingling in the halls, and also complaining about his job. We then go on to the Aokigahara Forest. Aokigahara lies at the bottom of Mount Fuji in Japan. This location has one dark past where most people come to end their lives, and sadly that record is both long and vast. Many of you might be familiar with this forest because of some certain YouTuber and a certain controversy. Moving on though, there have been hundreds of reported suicides in the forest since the 50s, with the possibility numbering in the thousands. People also have a habit of getting lost in this forest, and some would say it's due to some big underground deposit of iron that interferes with compasses, making people lose their way far easier than usual. Others blame the forest's association with demons in Japanese mythology. Honestly, I wouldn't go either way, really. We then come to the forbidden Chinese city. Now for a truly terrifying place. China. Okay, just joking. Half joking. YouTube isn't in China, so I don't have to worry about offending it, which is pretty easy to do nowadays. Honestly, this is a weird choice to put on this list, as this is also a super popular tourist destination. But on top of that, it's also a large spot for spooky ghosts and paranormal happenings. In the days of its time as an actual livable palace, though, the home saw its fair share of poisonings, executions, lots of fun, and deadly stuff for the entire family right there. The palace did open to the public in the 40s, and since then, people have reported all sorts of ghost sightings, one of which includes a wandering and sobbing woman dressed in white, which is certainly, again, fun for the entire family. We then move on to Alcatraz. Alcatraz Island really does need no introduction. It was home to many dangerous criminals, and also is reportedly one of the most haunted places in America. Located in San Francisco Bay, Alcatraz was built in 1859. However, it didn't become an actual jail until 1934. All the way to 1963, Alcatraz housed many of the world's most notorious criminals, and was also the site of prison personnel murders, inmate suicides, and escaped deaths. It's really no wonder people get the creeps just looking up the sordid details of this place. The former prison has all the standard signs of paranormal activity. This include the classic ghosts in chains that make a terrifying noise at night, and has even been said to have Al Capone's ghost haunting it as well, see? However, there is one famous story associated with the place. A dark and harrowing account of an inmate in D Block who reported seeing red, veiny eyes in his cell, simply staring back at him. He screamed all night long, much to the chagrin of the other inmates. They found him in the morning, dead and completely alone, strangled to death. Moving on though, we have the Banff Springs Hotel. Located around some beautiful and very green trees, Banff National Park is home to the Springs Hotel. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, this famous Canadian hotel has a rather dark history. While it may have a dark history, the ghosts here are less angry or moany than your typical skunk though. Guests have reported numerous ghost sightings, with the most prominent sighting be of Sam the Bellman, a former worker of the hotel, as one heck of a loyal employee. It's said that he continues to do his job after his death in 1975. Apparently, he's a pretty nice ghost who's reportedly helped guests who are locked out of their rooms. Other legends include objects moving of their own accord, whispered words in the night, and of course the usual moans, groans, and other such noises. We then come to Chateau de Brissac. Ah, France, the city of love, music, and romance. It truly is a memorable visit for anyone who is a fan of the arts and fine, if weird, cuisine. Unless, of course, you're afraid of ghosts. Enter the Chateau de Brissac, a castle that's been heralded as the tallest one in all of France. The 7-story fortress is said to contain several paranormal sightings, but its most famous claim to fame is the Green Lady. The Green Lady is said to be the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII. She was murdered in cold blood by her husband after he discovered she was having an affair, with of course her wearing a green dress. This green dress worn at the time of her death became her moniker, and now she roams the castle, moaning in the early hours, possibly looking for vengeance, redemption, or maybe just a good-looking guy. Next we move on to the Castle of Good Hope. Heading over to South Africa, we come to another castle of a different variety. Originally, the castle was a ship replenishment station built by the Dutch East India Company. However, it seems to have had other uses as well. Very sinister uses indeed. And then there was some not so sinister, as this castle was also used for a military fortress, as well as an impromptu prison for captured criminals during the war. While that's all well and good, the castle also has a far darker past. Reading off of the castle's webpage, it outlines a good amount of its very sordid past, which involved men being hanged. There's also black magic involved, as one doomed inmate stood at the rafters and cursed the governor Pieter van Nood. Seems the execution did go through, with Pieter feeling very accomplished. Until, of course, the governor died of a heart attack the next day. If you are up for it, you can tour the many rooms of the castle, which also include the torture chamber, and yes, I said torture chamber. We then go on to Isla de las Muñecas, which I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce correctly. Let me know in the comments below. With that though, let's migrate over on to Mexico, where we have plenty of urban tales, including La Llorona, the Chupacabra, and plenty of other monstrous legends. For now though, let's go on a more tangible location, with the Island of the Dolls. This haunted location is pretty creepy, and certainly not for those who scare easily. While it's not a tourist site, I believe you can still visit this place, at your own risk of course. Now the legend goes that a girl was found mysteriously dead, having drowned and washed up on the beach. Her corpse was found by the island's caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera. He also found a lone doll nearby and assumed it was the late girl's. As such, he hung it on a tree as a way of showing respect for the dead. However, he was apparently haunted by the spirit of the girl after that, and started hanging more dolls in an attempt to please her, just adding more and more as time had gone on. Those who do believe the story say that the dolls are now possessed by her spirit. Some would even go as far as to say that the dolls whisper to each other, which is just creepy in general. We then come to Poveglia Island. Poveglia Island in Venice has a storied history, to say the least. Once used as a plague quarantine station as well as a mental hospital for the mentally unfit, Poveglia Island has seen some pretty grim days that still haunt it to this day. Now, the first indicator that this place has a few things wrong with it. The number of deaths and evil activities on the island are simply the first part of it. This in turn has made the site a heavily sought after gold mine for ghost hunters and paranormal investigators from all over the dang globe. Today the mental hospital's ruins remain, and the island is strictly off limits to any visitors. Rather than a residence or island, we come to a rather unnerving statue. A statue of the Lord and Savior, no less, who's submerged in water and has his arms flung out as if requesting a hug. But that's probably not such a good idea. We end our script today with the Christ of the Abyss statue. The Christ of the Abyss statue is located off of Key Largo, Florida Keys. It's a bronze statue depicting Jesus Christ, and more specifically, it is located in Penicamp State Park. Funnily enough, this apparently isn't the only statue of its kind, with 3 others being located in the water around the world. This iconic statue is one of the most famous scuba diving sites in the world, and is visited by scuba divers from around the world. And yet, despite the seemingly peaceful scene here, it's still very unnerving to see it underwater, covered in some sort of underwater buildup. The statue depicts Christ in a pose offering peace. His hands and head are raised toward the surface with the hands approximately 11 feet underwater. But after that, there really isn't much for this statue. He doesn't rise from the depths to convert you, he doesn't curse your mind to continually hear faith music. It's just a statue. It was purposefully put there. I guess it's still pretty creepy though. With that, our video comes to an end for today, folks. I do hope you enjoyed it. What was the spookiest place to you? Are there any that we really missed? If so, let us know in the comments section down below. And with all that said and done, I'm gonna see you all in the next video. See you later.